What's going on, everyone? Make sure you don't miss 10 questions this week as I interview Pocan Joe, one of the most interesting cats I've ever talked to. He is literally a mad scientist and a villain. He likes to call himself a villain. So make sure you check that out. Also, check down in the description below to find out how to purchase a SmallTown Collectibles comic book mystery box and how to get a discount code over at Street Level Hero LA with the discount code STC10 and raise some money for a great cause. It's Tuesday, and you know what time it is. It's time for first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week. New Comic Book Day, November 10th, 2021. A lot of cool books coming out this week, so let's get started. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. So before we get into the first appearances, the key issues, all the cool covers this week, I want to ask you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, do that now. Hit that subscription button, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. Smash that like button and leave a comment below and let me know what you think about the books coming out this week and if there's anything I missed or left off my list. All right, guys, with all that out of the way, let's jump into our first category, and as per normal, it's the covers. First cover on our list this week is from Marvel, and that's Eternals #7, the 1 in 50 variant by Peach Momoko. Now, Peach Momoko has a very definitive style, and it's not really my favorite. It's kind of hit or miss for me. I like some of the covers. I don't like some of the covers, but I really dig this one. This is a cover with Thanos on it, and it is dope, man. I really dig this one. It's a must pick up for me. Next cover is from Dynamite, and of course, my Lucio Perillo cover of the week, Vengeance of Vampirella, Volume 2, number 23. Now, the one that I'm showing you here on the screen is the Virgin variant, but there is also a trade dress variant. But again, it's just another one of those classic Perillo covers. Just the character's really well drawn, and it just eerie looking with like the face that's coming out of the water. I don't know. Like I said, Perillo, it seems like there's one every week from him that I dig. This week's no different. Vengeance of Vampirella, Volume 2, number 23. Next up, another book from Marvel, and if I could have a cover of the week, or if I guess I could have a cover of the week, right? It's my show. I can do whatever I want. But if I had a cover of the week, this would be it. And this is The Thing, #1, Volume 3, the Cover C variant by Lee Bermejo. I love this cover. Like, this is fire, and it is sold out in a lot of places. I have been able to track down a couple of copies for myself, but I think if this is one, if you're into The Thing or the Fantastic Four, like, this cover is just smoking. Like, I absolutely love it. Cannot wait to get this into my collection. So last cover of the week is Vampirella #25, and this is the Ken Hauser variant. This is an homage to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Now, there's also an homage to, I think it's a Harley Quinn book, but it's the classic cover with the Joker and Harley in front of him in the kind of the clown or the jester costume. So there's two kind of cool homages out this week. Now, I'm not necessarily a Vampirella reader, nor am I a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, but I just thought these two covers were cool, and I wanted to put them out there so that you guys know they're available. So if you want to pick them up, you can grab them. So that's it for the covers this week. Let's jump on over into the second printings. And the first one on the list is from Image, and it's the Righteous Thirst for Vengeance #1, Cover G, second print. Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, the first issue was really good. I really enjoyed that read. Not a ton of conversation in that book, but the art was really strong, and the conversation that was had was strong. It was a really interesting first issue, and the #2 comes out this week as well, so I can't wait to grab that. But you do have this you do have this second print coming out this week for #1. Then we jump over to Black Mass Comics, where the title God Killer Tomorrow Ashes has multiple printings come out for several different books in that title. So the first one is God Killer Tomorrow's Ashes #1, the Cover G, 4th printing from Karen Darbo. Then we have God Killer Tomorrow's Ashes #2, Cover E, 3rd printing, and God Killer Tomorrow Ashes #3, Cover B, 2nd printing. So if you're into that God Killer series, you've got multiple prints coming out this week for 1, 2, and 3. And then wrapping up the second print list this week, and a book that I'm definitely going to grab is Never Never #1, Cover B, 2nd printing. When I first read Never Never, I didn't really like the first issue all that much. It was okay, but it wasn't great. And then I missed a few issues, and then I went back and started over and read one again and kind of read them in sequence. And it was actually pretty good. This has been a pretty hot title on the secondary market. And I'm sure this second print will have a smaller print run, so it may be one that you want to be on the lookout for. All right, that's all the second printings this week. Let's jump over into our key issues. And we always lead off with DC. And the first one this week from DC is Robin and Batman #1. Just what we need, another Batman title, right? This is the origin of Robin, and it's a 3-issue limited series by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nigan that explores Robin's year 1 origin in prestige format. So I'm a big Jeff Lemire fan, or have become a Jeff Lemire fan. Lee over at Whack Comics is a huge Jeff Lemire fan, and it kind of turned me on to some different titles that I've been reading. And so I'm going to check this out. I'm going to read it. I don't know. I'll probably read it digitally, see how it is, and we'll go from there. But yeah, Robin and Batman #1, Origin of Robin, out this week. Then we've got Action Comics number 1036. Now, this is being written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and I've really enjoyed this last run of Action Comics. Now, the reason I include this in a key issues list is it says the World War saga begins. After learning of an enslaved race with mysterious ties to Krypton, Superman and the Authority, which is also a really good title, I've really enjoyed that one, travel across to the galaxy to dethrone the new Mongol and liberate War World. Introducing new characters and a new corner of the DC universe. The biggest Superman event since the death and return of Superman begins here. So they put that out in the synopsis. I'm going to throw that in as a key issue. Plus, I'm a Superman homer. What can I say? But I've really enjoyed the Johnson run of Action Comics, and this story has been really good. So it may be one that you want to check out as well. So that's it from DC this week. Let's jump on over into our Marvel titles. And the first one is Amazing Spider-Man #78. And in this book, you get Ben Reilly versus Morbius. I was really harsh on the previous run by Nick Spencer. So far, this has promise. I'm going to definitely check this one out. And anytime you got Morbius showing up and you got that battle, I'm going to check that out. Then we've got Strange Academy #13, another really fun title. If you're not reading that one, you should check it out. It is actually a really fun read from Marvel, and it's hard to find really good Marvel titles right now that you want to read consistently, but Strange Academy has been that for me. And in this one, you get the origin of Zoe Lavu. Then, finally coming out this week from Marvel, we've got Venom #1. And this begins the run of the creative team, Al Ewing and Rom V, with Brian Hitch on art. Now, Rom V has been over on Swamp Thing, which has been amazing. Al Ewing just wrapped up that epic run on the Immortal Hulk. Venom was okay under Donny Cates. Like, it started off strong, and again, it was really up and down like most Cates titles are. But ultimately, I ended up enjoying the overall story. But to have Ewing come over on Venom with Rom V is really exciting to me. And I can't wait to check this out. This book will pick up following the events of the Cates run, which was, I think, Venom 200, where Dylan bonded with the Venom symbiote. So, yeah, excited for this one. As far as I can kind of spec value, they're going to print the daylights out of this book. There won't be a ton of value in that, I don't believe. But I'm excited to see what Al Ewing can do with this Venom title. All right, that wraps up the big two this week. Let's jump over into our indies. And, of course, we've always got several indies to talk about. First one is from Aftershock, and that is My Date with Monsters #1. And this comes from Paul Tobin, who is the writer of Bunny Mask. And I really love Bunny Mask, so I'm going to check this one out. But listen to this synopsis. A woman tries to navigate dating while fighting monsters spawned from actual nightmares. I don't know. That sounds weird to me. Is that any different than real dating? I don't know. You tell me. But I really enjoy Paul Tobin. Or at least I have on Bunny Mask anyway, so I'm definitely going to check out My Date with Monsters #1. Then we jump over to Atlantis, and we have Star Runner Fallen Star #1. Synopsis is, 10 years after the death of her adopted parents, teen Aurora Palmer would do anything not to stand out at her new high school. When a sudden surge of her hidden telekinetic powers threatens to expose her, she begins a desperate search for her origins before the truth is destroyed forever. So that actually sounds kind of cool. Don't know a lot about that Atlantis printing company, but Star Runner Fallen Star #1 kind of sounds cool to me. Then we jump over to Boom Studios and a book that I'm really looking forward to picking up. Now, just warning, I am a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, just a little. But I enjoy titles like this. And that is Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, #1. Where is Lee Harvey Oswald's body? I don't know. Do you? The Kennedy assassination is a rat's nest of conspiracy theories, mafia involvement, the second gunman, government cover-ups, but the most important chapter of this sordid tale may just be the theory that the body buried at Oswald's Rose Hill gravesite is not actually Lee Harvey himself. Meet the ragtag group of useful idiots who are unwittingly brought together to clean up the crime of the century. A wannabe cowboy from Wisconsin, a Buddy Holly idolizing former car thief, a world-weary civil rights activist ready for revolution, and a failed G-man who still acts the part, and specifically regarding the matter of Oswald's body. So that sounds like it's going to be funny. It's around a storyline that I find interesting. You know, the whole Kennedy assassination. I could get on my soapbox and go on for days all about the conspiracy theories with that. But yeah, Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, #1 from Boom this week. I think that sounds like a fun title. Then from Dynamite, we have Nyx #1. This is pulled straight from the pages of Vampirella, the half-human, half-demon of living flame. Nyx tries to find her place in the world. And this has a really, really nice cover as well. I really studied about putting it on my covers list this week. I ultimately decided not to because it's like I told you last week. If it jumps out to me, I put it on here. And I have to want to buy it. And I don't know that I would buy this book. But the cover is nice. And you may dig it. But Nyx #1 from Dynamite. Then from Image Comics, we've got What's the Furthest Place from Here #1 from Matthew Rosenberg and Tyler Boss. A post-apocalyptic coming-of-age story about the things that matter most to one's survival, your loved ones, and a record collection. And maybe for us, your loved ones and your comic books. Or maybe it's your comic books and your record collection. I don't know. You have to pick that out for yourself. Then we've got also from Image, Phenom X #1. Now this is written by John Leguizamo. Wrongfully imprisoned and desperate to regain his freedom, Max Gomez agrees to become a subject in an underground government experiment. When the trial gives him a phenomenal shape-shifting abilities, Gomez learns his new freedom requires surviving a super-powered war fought on the streets of NYC. So I'm definitely looking forward to that book. The fact that John Leguizamo is involved, he wrote the story, it has kind of a movie vibe to it, to be honest with you. So Phenom X #1 from Image is a must pick up for me this week. And then, as I say every week, one of my favorite publishers, Scout Comics, they have a book out this week, Provenance of Secrets #1, and this is a Black Caravan imprint. Provenance of Secrets brings early 50s crime noir to the realms of cosmic horror. That sounds kind of cool. Set in LA, a brutal murder throws up some increasingly strange leads and pushes a detective down a path to something that is far from his usual work. Taking the world that Robert Chambers, the King in Yellow, existed within will only make the noir even darker and haunting. Provenance of Secrets is a recipe, words are hard, for a horror noir, one that you keep reading knowing it will only get more terrifying. That sounds awesome to me, but I really dig the way that sounds, and another book I'll definitely read. All right, guys, that's the key issues this week. Not a ton of stuff from the big two. You got a few interesting books coming from the indie companies that I think sound good, but definitely a lot to check out this week and some fun stuff to read. All right, now let's jump over into our first appearances, and we really only have two, and both of these books we've already talked about. The first one is Action Comics number 1036. So the solicitation that I read to you earlier refers to new characters. Now, I don't know if any of these characters are going to be important. They're going to this new war world to find the new Mongol. Now, there was a new Mongol that was introduced in Future State Superman Worlds of War. So I don't know if this is like a different Mongol or it's the same one. But it is one I'm going to be on the lookout for. I'm buying it anyway, but if you're a first appearance collector, you may want to check it out and see what's there before you purchase. And then wrapping up the first appearances this week, title I'm really looking forward to. That's The Thing number 1. You get the first appearance of Amaryllis, described as the Thing's newfound love. And you get the first appearance of Brusque. Yeah, the thing number one, not only does it have a dope cover C, but it has a couple of first appearances as well for all the first appearance collectors out there. All right, guys, that's it. That's it for New Comic Book Day, November 10th, 2021. Your first appearances and key issues and covers and all that fun stuff. Hope you guys have a fantastic New Comic Book Day. I know I'm going to, and I appreciate you guys coming over here and hanging out on the channel for a little while with me today. Hope this video helps you out in some way with your picks for New Comic Book Day. And as always in these things, until next time.